Welcome back, baby doll. Welcome, welcome. I heard some of you want to engage in the dark arts of gambling. Yes, gambling. That's what we do here. If you wake up, you go outside, you're taking a chance that you don't get hit by a car. Also, when you open up your MetaMask, you go to PulseChain, you connect to any chain, you're also taking a chance. Everything can just explode. So now when you're swapping assets on PulseX, which is going to be the DEX, you are also taking a chance, baby dolls. I want you to please learn with me. You're going to learn some safe gambling practices for PulseChain launching. I have to teach you this now. You need it as self-defense. Why? You will have friends and family that don't know how to gamble. You yourself probably don't know how to gamble and how to think about it, and you want to protect your bags. You can take this particular path of no gambling, nothing. I'm closing it. See you later. That's okay. All the power to you. Everyone's going to be clicking around, playing. Look what the meme coins did with everyone, man. It captured your imagination. You know, if a meme coin went like 20x, you're like, nah. Dude, Pepe went 350,000x. I'm not saying to go hunt a new meme coin on PulseChain. No. What I'm saying is most likely you will try to participate and play around. You're going to need some principles. How to do it. You got to play off your yield. What I'm going to do is this strategy is going to, so of course, this is a practice safe gambling PulseChain launch strategy. How to gamble. Okay, because don't forget, you're gambling. You got to know how to gamble though. What we're going to do is, the goal is protect your core position while still dipping your little webbed feet in the pond. And yes, there will be a little duck emoji. This is the absolute goal of this. You notice the goal is not make 1000x on the next investment. Most likely not going to happen. When you do this, you get better at the game. You get to participate. We get to learn. Maybe we get to get a bit sharper and better for 2024. And then we will use that as the base for 2025. We'll be able to rig the crowd even bigger and better and get into something early. Or if you're in the wrong things, you'll be able to minimize your damage, because it's actually not about being right all the time. It's that when you're wrong, you don't get crushed. And when you're right, you know how to leverage it up. But most people, they just start leveraging because they feel good. You're not meant to leverage up like that. And by the way, leverage does not mean borrowing other people's money. Leverage can mean, oh, you said you were going to use 0.25% of your portfolio on this thing, but you end up using 5%. That's leverage. You're not meant to do that. So you have different options here. The beautiful part is there's a duck out there, may have founded HEX. He understands yield. Humans, we want yield. We want the number go up. Not only do we want price go up, we want the quantity of our thing to go up more. This is humans, right? That's what we do. So the beautiful part is with HEX, you can stake HEX. You can stake HEX. So this is my goal for you. My goal for you is to use the yield from any of these coins. I think PoorPleb might even have staking too. It's fun, right? So your goal is to use the yield and only gamble with the yield. Or, listen to me carefully, but you have to promise me you don't break this rule. If you decide to take a big chunk of your portfolio, you are only allowed to take the next 1 year of yield. You front run your yield. So let's use an example. Let's go to HEX, for example. So I'm going to copy this up here. We're going to go down for baby doll HEX, right? So HEX right now, short-term staking yield is about, so HEX short-term yield is roughly 9% per year. And it's going down over time. So just to let you know, Ricardo understands you make the yield high at the start and it drags down over time. So HEX used to be like 30%, 20, 10, now it's 9. It's going to go down to like 3, down to like what Bitcoin is. And we hope HEX is like, $10, $20, $30 in like 8 years. Wouldn't that be amazing? So it's down to 9% now. So the yield is getting lower, but, big but, it's sustainable. So you might say to me, you have a position of, let's just say you got 200,000 HEX. 200,000 HEX, and you want to hold that the whole way. I'll just let you know. 200,000 HEX. If it hits our target of $2, man, you're sitting on $400,000. But at least I'm here to teach you. You're going to see some new coins and this and that. Please, for the love of God, don't thrash your core position, please. If you're going to play, I want you to think of this. What you're going to do is, I'm just going to use a rough portfolio. Let's say, example, you have 200,000 HEX. I'm trying to teach you how to gamble safely. 200,000 HEX. Now, what you can do today, you say, okay, well, my friend Somi said, let's expect that our targets are hit late in 2025, which means you have like 2 years. So what I want you to do now is go, okay, there's 2 years, but I want you to think of years of a block of 1 year. So in 1 year, if you stake your HEX short term, you will get 9% yield. So roughly, obviously the number, you got to work with the T-shares, but just do a rough number. It's not the end of the world, right? 200,000, you get 18,000 HEX earned. So if you really wanted to, let's say you found something like, oh man, there's these 5 coins, there's a new sector, I want to participate, I don't know what to do, and I got no money. Firstly, your first preference, don't touch your HEX. That's your first preference. Use your cash savings, please. That should be your first preference. If you want to go buy memes, the best thing to do, and I promise you, the absolute best thing to do is import like $1,000 from cash savings. Yep. Split it into 10 pieces. No, actually, with meme coins right now, split it into 20 pieces, right? This is how disgusting memes are now. And you have to do this on PulseChain because it costs freaking $100 a trade on Ethereum right now. But I'm just teaching you safe practices. Cash savings first. Do you understand that? This is what you should be doing. Not touching this. But I'll tell you right now, some of you, you're gamblers, you're not going to listen. And I know what's going to happen. When HEX starts growing, if HEX is back to like 50 cents and you have 200,000 HEX, you're going to have $100,000. You're going to hurt yourself. I'm here to look after you. All right. Please just chill out. So your first preference is have that cash. But let's say you're like, oh man, I'm out of cash. Like I need to eat. Live in a cardboard box if you have to. But if you really must participate in the game, what you're going to have to do is you have to say, well, remember, you're going to earn 18,000 HEX in the next 12 months. So what you'll do is that 18,000 HEX, move it to another wallet. Move it to another wallet. Put it in your DGen wallet. And I'm going to draw a little fox here. It's going to be Fox. This is Firefox. This is MetaMask. And there's going to be a poop emoji because it's absolutely garbage. But this is what we have, all right? Yes, and this is exactly how MetaMask looks. Look at that. It was born wrong, this Fox. Okay, so you have 18,000 HEX in the future that you're going to receive that you don't have today. You don't have it. Because you got to participate now. You're like, okay, what you'll do is you take that 18,000 HEX, you put it to another wallet, you're going to split that up. You might split it up into 10 pieces, 20 pieces. I believe 20 pieces. You know why? You screw up at the start. That's why. You screw up the start. You do 18,000 divided by 20. Hey, 900. Or you might just do one, just make it round number, 1,000 HEX per hit. So you might come across 5 coins. You're like, hey, they're building this or AI or whatever it is. Okay, whatever it is. Or you want to buy some NFT, whatever it is. This is how you do it. You're not touching your core. You're front running it. And what you're going to do is you're going to leave the remaining HEX and you're just going to stake it. In 1 year, you'll get back to 200,000 HEX. But you get to participate with this little poop today. Your goal at the end of the day is to get back more HEX. Do you understand me? Your goal is, like, even if you got back, I'm not even joking, man. Even if you 2x'd it, even by the end of it, you're playing around, the season's done, and you're like, oh, man, even if you got plus 36,000, that's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. You learned, you gained experience, and you avoided impending death and doom. This is how you got to play the game. If you don't do this, I promise you, you're going to end up on CoinFessions Wrecked. You're going to be that dude who squandered everything. This is how you do it. Your beautiful, sweet core position does not get touched. You get to participate in this. You know what the best part is? With PulseX and PulseChain, there are going to be incentive token yield. So you can do the same thing. So we don't know the exact yield rate yet. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, like I'm not even joking, that with PulseX and PulseChain, all you need is like 9%, 10%. Please, first year, just one year, 10%. That's all you need. That'll be juicy. Wouldn't that be fantastic for you? You get to save that up. Now, obviously, what's optimal? What's optimal is just to keep the bag growing. That's optimal. But what's the title of this video? How to gamble safely. Because I know none of you are going to listen. Not everybody's going to listen. The optimal thing to do is to keep going back. Because remember, look how optimal it is. Your goal, you want more HEX back. You want more HEX. That's the end of the goal. But you know, at the end of the day, what's more realistic? For me to say, close your eyes, don't look at everything happening. Is that the best approach? No, it's not the best approach. The best approach is to tell you there's a lot of bad things out there, and there's a lot of good things, but the bad things outnumber the good things like 4,001. So just assume you're going to get squirted by that water pistol, and it's going to be slimy, sewer water, and sludgy. You have to assume that. You got to always wear your helmet. So PulseX and PulseChain, same story. I hope Sir Alex, the founder of Hedron and Icosa, I hope he goes through with his fork of RocketPool. So this is another beautiful thing I'm going to tell you. You're a freaking baby doll. This is why you're coming to me. Like, subscribe, bell button, all. So if Sir Alexander forks RocketPool. So what RocketPool is, let's just make it very simple. Don't worry about how it actually works. All it does is you can own, right now, there's Ethereum, but Ethereum earns you no yield. You got to be a validator. You got to actually set up your computer. You can buy RETH on Uniswap. You can go there. You can look it up. In fact, I'm actually going to bring it up for you right now because you're a baby doll, baby cake, sugar pie. You can go to Uniswap. Have you heard of a website called CoinGecko? You can type in RETH. See, look at this. RocketPool Ethereum. RETH. Wow, it's $2,036. Have you noticed this? Like right now, what's the Ethereum price? Like 1888. Have you noticed there's a discrepancy? Huh? There's a discrepancy. You want to see an up-only chart, baby dolls? This is a beautiful thing. Let me show you this cool thing. RocketPool gains Ethereum yield every day. It's auto-staked. So in your wallet, you just hold RETH. And you might say, oh, but what if the price goes down? It doesn't, because RETH can be arbitraged any day, baby dolls. RETH can be arbitraged any day. And you can go in, and if people want to sell RETH for $1,000 and capitulate, you can buy that, and you can just go in to the contract, and you can just swap in, and you get the real Ethereum back with the yield. It's beautiful. So the yield is like 3.5% for Ethereum. So if you have one RETH today, one RETH, in 1 year, okay, so 1 year, you will have 1.035 ETH value, which is exactly what this $2,036 is. That's why it's increasing over time. So now I'm going to show you the cool chart. Look, on here, you should be using this button, by the way, for every single crypto. You have to see what your coin is doing against Bitcoin and Ethereum. If you go to ETH, have a look at this, right? So over time, so even though, see, this is the blue lines, the Ethereum price moving with it in tandem. But RocketPool, over time, this chart is going to go up. It's going to slowly go up. You can't see it now. But if you go to, this is 24 hours. Whoa, look at it, it's going up. This is the max, friends. Isn't it cool? There's actually an up-only chart in crypto. This is literally, this is this is like buying a t-shirt. Exactly the same thing. So this is, one of the only things that you can create that only goes up because it's priced in the underlying anyway. It's not priced in USD. It's priced in Ethereum. And you can just keep issuing more, right? So this is just going to keep going up over time. So if you hold RETH, you're getting more Ethereum. So you can see this right now. It's 1.07. So yeah, this is every year this is going to compound by 3.5%. So if we go back to Sir Alexander potentially with RocketPool, so with PLS, you one day might be able to buy Rocket PLS on PulseX. Wouldn't that be fantastic? So instead of the validator making, what's the number at the start? Maybe like 13% in the first year. And I got that number because if you see my previous video and my tweets, Ricardo Corazon is modeling PulseChain off Ethereum, and Ethereum's first year yield was like 18%. It went down to 16 and 15 and 14. So if we copy that model, like he did, he copied the inflation model for Bitcoin. He copied it and put it in HEX. So if we do the same thing, most likely that's why we're getting the high inflation. It's not really high, but it's like a good incentive for the first year. We might get those juicy numbers. So that's really important to pick up. Those numbers, you can lick your lips at them. You want them. Because, you know, if it does 100x, man, every 1% you're making, that yield means a lot. So all you would have to do is hold RPLS. All right? So you basically would never even hold PLS. You just hold RPLS. And every month you'd be getting like 0.8% extra. So at the end of the year, it would be 9% gained. So the way it would work is the validator themselves, they like, because they're running their servers and stuff, they get a bit of the premium of the yield. They get more of it. And, you know, if they're getting 13%, then what? You're going to get like 11%. That's still good. 10%, 9%. Amazing. And now that's your yield. Just like HEX. Do you remember this example? You're front running your yield. Well, now we can do the same thing for me and you. We're a baby doll outsider. We don't know how to operate computers, barely know how to turn them on. Don't even know what they look like. Shape of a triangle. Couldn't pick a computer in a grass field. So this also gives you the opportunity to front run the future and peel a bit off for your yield. And remember what I told you, you keep them separate. You do not put them in the same category. You ever heard that saying, don't poop where you eat? Well, I'm telling you right now, absolutely don't go gamble with your core. You're going to keep them aside. This is your future. You know, hey, maybe this doesn't work. But if it does work, at least you had a friend telling you, hey, there's a high chance of working. It's not 100%, but it's still a high chance to me. Better than a coin flip. It's worth it. You know, imagine I let you flip a coin. I'm like, okay, if it's tails, you lose everything. But if it's heads, you make 250 times your money. How many times are you going to spin this? You'll be begging me to let you spin this coin. That's right. We're not flipping it. We're spinning it. Spinning on the table. This is how you got to think of this game. So there's no guarantees. Remember, it can still land on tails for us. But what if it lands on heads? You got to think about that. So don't screw up your heads. If you are spending your core HEX, your core PulseChain, your core PulseX, you will be denying yourself of your future if it works out. You don't want to be doing that. Now with PulseX, it's deflationary from the start. This is where it gets a bit more tricky because with PulseX, there is no staking, but you might have to use the INC incentive token, and I believe there was a wizard wand here. Yes, we are lucky. So there's a wizard wand here to show you the incentive token. I don't know exactly what is going to fund it. I'm guessing part of the $70 million treasury might create a bid for it, but that's limited time, and I don't know what the yield's going to be. And I'll be honest, I don't know, baby dolls, if Ricardo wants to give out single side. I hope they're single side, but it's obviously going to be very low. And what's very low, I'm not sure. I hope it's 10%, because I'm telling you right now, if he gives 10% in the first year and then 9% next year, that's beautiful. Take that all day. Just single side stake it and do the same thing you do with PLS. If Sir Alexander forks RocketPool, and you can do that. That's the beautiful part. But there is a chance he does not give anything more than like 2% for single side staking. And you're going to ask why, and it's because of incentives. Because if he puts, so you got to think about this. So single side staking is just put your token here, don't sell it, we'll give you some party, we'll give you some breadcrumbs, right? They're basically bribing you not to sell. I promise that's what it is, right? Single side staking, and then there's going to be double side LP staking rewards. So this is what everybody's coming for. This is the actual party, this part. You noticed I have not mentioned to do this. You can do this if you want. This double side party, this is where you will take, I don't want you to do this. I don't want anybody to do this, but I know you're going to do it. I know you're going to do it. You will take, say, your PulseX, a bit of it, and then you'll lock it with another coin. You could even lock it with PHEX, and then you'll provide liquidity. You lock them in a ratio, you provide liquidity, and what you're doing is you're making the book thicker. So instead of like $100,000 on the bid or offer where it's super volatile, the goal is to get everybody to lock it in and make it super thick. And instead of being thin, they'll make it super thick, and then it's hard to move. That's what the goal is, and they'll all be paid a token. They'll all be paid the incentive token. And the rewards go down depending on how many people are in it. So you can play that game if you want, and then you'll get the rewards. I just don't want to open that door for everyone because I've seen all the stats, and the stats don't lie. The stats say from all of Uniswap that you lose money compared to buy and hold doing this. You do. You are just given a carrot on a stick, and you're going to say to me, you're not watching a single another minute of this video without a carrot emoji. That's right. So the carrot on the stick is, hey, here's some fees and here's some yield for the time being. So they're feeding you the carrot every month. But if you stretch it out over like 12 months, 24 months, the best thing to do was to buy and hold, because people are using you to kind of exit and move around. And eventually these things might disconnect in price. So obviously with the LP, when you're LPing, you have obviously the impermanent loss. So what might happen is maybe PulseX goes on a nuclear run above HEX. But if you're providing liquidity, what ends up happening is you are selling your PulseX to everybody who wants to buy it. You're giving it away to them in the pool in parts. You're like, hey, you think, hey, my PulseX is going to do 100x and HEX is only going to do a 10x from a certain point. I don't want to give you my PulseX. Well, if you're doing this program, you have to give everyone, you provide liquidity. Everybody has to take it off you. That's why you're giving the carrot every stick. You're like, hey, hang around. So in a beautiful, clean world, HEX and PLSX and all the other ratios just do this for you. That means you just collect money, free happy days. But I don't know what's going to happen. You don't know either. There's a chance that PulseX goes weaker. There's a chance that PulseX goes stronger. These are the unknown things. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to measure that up. You might say to me, okay, maybe you want to do 20% of your position as this double side staking and 80% is single side. You can play with that. But you know, at the end of the day, what the goal is you're going to take your little incentive token and you're just going to punt with that. So your incentive token and that yield, if I were you, automatically just like rebuy PLSX. Don't see it as money to go spend now. Just see it as auto buy PLSX today. And then if something comes out in the future, okay, use a bit of that. Use like 1% of your stack to play around. Hope this makes sense. So all of this hopefully gets avoided if single side staking, if we can be given like 9% or 8% single side, that'll be decent enough. Because then you can do the same thing with your PulseX. You say, like, let's say some of you have 50 million PulseX, 50 million. What you will do is you'll say, okay, I'm going to take 9% of 50 million. You're going to have 4.5 million. You put that to another wallet. You're going to divide 4.5 million by like 20 pieces. And you go, okay, this is what I'm going to do, like 250,000 per clip. And you're just going to use that to punt. And your goal is to just make more PulseX. This is how you have to punt. I'm going to let you know. By the time the 2 years is up and maybe it's starting to get euphoric, etc., I'm telling you, most of everything's going to come down to this. The fact that you protected your core position while still dipping your feet in the pond, that's going to be the ultimate thing that saves you. Protecting your core position part. So you protected yourself from boredom. You protected yourself from losing it all. You never gave up. I don't want you to ever think, aha, this thing's not going to move. Go back and watch my previous 2 videos, friends. It's going to take a while to rinse out the weak hands. Ethereum took 6 months after its launch. Solana took 4.5 months. HEX took 4 months. So what's PulseChain going to take? Best case 4 months to rinse out the weak hands, where it just literally goes nowhere, goes back in your stack, who knows what it's going to do. Up to 6 months, that's a long time, man. That's a long time. Like if we launched in May, if we're launching like right now, man, that's still 6 months. That means we don't go anywhere till November. If we don't launch to July, baby dolls, that means we might not go anywhere till around the Bitcoin halving in January. I know this might scare you. That's why I'm telling you, you have to be a baby doll, baby cake. Participate in these programs. They're basically going to pay you to not be bored along the way. You get to participate, I hope it's going to be fun. And you'll be able to practice safe gambling because you know this. At the end of the day, it all comes down to buy and hodl. All of it. But you never know, man. There's some great projects out there. Like, obviously, I love, go back here, you know this. I love all these little emojis everywhere. I love the PoorPleb. I love the PoorPleb meme community. I love it. Close to my heart. I also love Hedron and Icosa. I'm going to wait for PulseChain to launch. I'll make some videos on them now. So there are juicy things to do. You can also participate in long-term staking for Maxi and these other things. They're great. They are fantastic. But you got to respect them with what place they have in your portfolio because you got to know what you're doing, man. Because I'm telling you now, friends, I've looked back and I'm like, man, I gave this person the right answer. How come they didn't get the results with me? And then you find out later on, there was just this one random month where things crashed and they just couldn't take it anymore. They sold the bottom of a 30% dip. They went and bought something else. 15 Ponzi JPEGs later, they got nothing to show for it. I'm still in a Telegram with Baby Doll Baby Cakes who are coming back. This hurts me to say. I'm not going to say the name, but like some dude came back and I'm like, bro, I remember you from 2020. It's been like 3 years. He's working a second job, man. How come I'm not working and he's working a second job? We were in it together. Kind of sad. He's actually been in crypto. He had been in crypto like before me. So I got in end of 2018. He came at the beginning of 2017. He's still working 2 jobs. He was in we were in together in 2020. What happened? So you don't want to be there. You don't want to be there. You know, if he wore a little helmet and he dipped his little quack web feet in and he respected the carrots, maybe we'd be talking a different story right now. Don't end up like that. Funny part is, I mean, I hope he gets into HEX and PulseChain. He's probably not even going to listen. He's too haunted. I think I asked him, like, he wants to just DCA into Bitcoin now. So he's lost the mojo. He's lost the mojo. Think about this, friends. He's so psychologically hurt. I'm telling him, all right, bro, you want to make it back? You go all in this. Nah. He's just in Bitcoin, Ethereum, doesn't want to do anything else. This is what happens, man. Once bitten, twice shy. You don't want to get there. I'm going to be here forever, but what I can't do is, if you disconnect from everything because you did not practice safe gambling, because you decided you're a smarty pants, right? If you start doing this, and you don't practice safe gambling, then once you've lost it, you've lost it. I mean, last thing, friends, I've got on deck screen, I made Twitter posts. There are people still chasing their bags, rotating in a HEX, other meme coins, buying up and down their front. I know how it ends every single time. Every time I know how it ends. And the worst part is, the biggest losses, if you go back and check the wallets, they start winning at the beginning. That's actually how they have the biggest losses. They make like a 2x or a 3x at the start, and then that's the beginning of hell for the next 9 months. It's almost better if they just take a big hit at the start so they can replenish their bags in the next 12 months and they never do it again. But it never happens, man. They start winning. You don't want to get like that. Now you've learned how to gamble, but most importantly, you've learned how to be a baby doll friend. I think mum and dad need to learn from you. But you love them a lot. Like, subscribe, bell button, and all. Catch you next time.